Fever dog! Woo! Woo! Fever! Good dub. Ugly, but we found a way to win. Woo.
Here's a revenge stat that will give you chills after getting out-rebounded and out-muscled by the Atlanta Dream during a close loss on May 20th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever completely flipped the script. 2 days later, they outscored the Dream 46-20 in the paint and held Brittney Griner to just 5 points before she fouled out during their rematch on May 22nd.
Hey, Steph. This question is for you. I just wanted to talk about what you saw out of your team that was different from Tuesday. Obviously, it's a quick turn, but how did you feel like your adjustments paid off on the court?
I felt like our defensive energy, physicality, disruptiveness was better. We made it more difficult for them, moving the ball around the perimeter. We executed better in our ball screen defense. Felt like we had each other's back a little bit more.
The same team that narrowly lost at home came to Atlanta and dominated in the most satisfying way possible. This kind of quick turnaround and adjustment shows exactly why this Fever team is ready for championship runs. Stick around because we'll also break down the spicy scuffle between Clark and an Atlanta Dream player and what shocking words were exchanged with each other. What did this win reveal about Clark's ability to lead a team with multiple all-stars and options at any given night? Comment fired up for the Fever down below to show how proud you are of the win. Let's go.
There's one thing this Indiana Fever team has shown us they will do this year. It's not quit on the game. The Indiana Fever down early, come back, take the lead. Down late, come back, take the lead. The only difference between tonight's outcome and Tuesday's outcome is a letter.
Picture this. Just 2 days before their revenge game, the Fever walked off their home court at Gainbridge Fieldhouse feeling completely defeated by Atlanta. The 91-90 loss wasn't just another game that slipped away. It was the kind of defeat that exposes everything wrong with your team.
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually. So it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well.
The loss wasn't just any regular season defeat. It showed every weakness the Fever had been trying to hide. Atlanta dominated them in ways that should have been impossible on their own floor. The Dream out-rebounded Indiana and out-muscled them in the paint. They made it look easy. Brittney Griner did exactly what everyone expected her to do against Indiana's smaller lineup. She scored at will with 21 points, while the Fever had no real answer for her size and strength. Ryan Howard dropped 20 points, picking apart Indiana's defense from every angle. The Dream shot 25 of 32 from the free throw line, while the Fever managed just 16 of 26, with some crucial missed free throws costing them the game.
They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but it's just a little thing.
But here's what most people missed about that loss. The Fever weren't just losing, they were studying. Coach Stephanie White admitted after the game, "I don't feel like we match up well with them." She saw the Dream's Olympians, their perimeter skills, their size, and their experience. But White and her staff were already planning something different.
It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but it's just a little thing.
The players left that locker room with a different energy than usual after a loss, but those 48 hours between games would change everything. That devastating home loss became the fuel that would power one of the most satisfying road wins of the season. The question wasn't whether the Fever would bounce back. It was how they would make Atlanta pay for embarrassing them at home.
Our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged. And
here's something that would have terrified Fever fans just months ago. Caitlin Clark went 0 for 5 from three-point range. She shot just 4 of 11 from the field overall. Her 11 points were well below her usual standards for the first time since January 13th, 2022. Clark had a game without a single three-pointer made. This marked the first time since her sophomore year at Iowa that she failed to hit from beyond the arc.
Tuesday, we couldn't seal the deal. We lost it at the free throw line. Tonight, we sealed the deal. Tonight, we took the lead late in the fourth after being down 75-71 with 3 minutes left. We take the lead and we don't look back. The Indiana Fever leave the ATL with an 81-76 victory, and this game was pretty. Man, this game was pretty. Pretty ugly.
In most teams, when your superstar struggles like this on the road, you're probably heading for a blowout loss. Clark picked up 5 personal fouls, limiting her effectiveness on both ends of the court. The foul trouble kept her off the floor during crucial stretches. Any team relying solely on their star player would have crumbled under these circumstances.
What a win for the Indiana Fever against the Atlanta Dream. Good teams win ugly. And that was what was most impressive to me about the Fever's performance against the Dream.
But this is where the 2025 Fever showed they had evolved into something completely different than anyone expected. Natasha Howard stepped up with a game-high 26 points on incredible 12 of 17 shooting.
But getting in foul trouble early, I think, messed up her rhythm, and she didn't really have her legs, because it certainly was one of the worst performances of Clark's career from a production standpoint offensively. First time in her career she didn't hit a 3. So nothing to write home about from Cece. But that's okay, right? Even when, that's happening, game's on the line, she's got the basketball. She's got the basketball, manipulates the defense, gets it to AB, who puts it away.
This performance completely erased her terrible previous game against Atlanta. Howard dominated the second half with 18 points, including 13 crucial points in the third quarter alone. She also grabbed 7 rebounds while taking over when the team needed it most.
Natasha Howard, I will say, you didn't have a good game last game. You bounced back today. If I'm the Atlanta Dream coach, I'm going into tonight with a game plan. Folks, make Natasha Howard beat us. Don't let Caitlin Clark beat us. Don't let Kelsey Mitchell beat us. Don't let Aliyah Boston beat us. Make Natasha Howard beat us. And Natasha Howard, she took on that challenge and she came through. Let's just think back a year ago. Who's that going to be? Katie Lou? Nope. Erica Wheeler? Nope. Nalissa Smith, you make me laugh.
Sophie Cunningham made her return from an ankle injury look seamless. She dropped 9 points and 6 rebounds in just 20 minutes of play. Cunningham hit her first three-pointer of the season and sparked an 11-0 run that put the Fever back in the lead. Her debut brought immediate energy on both ends of the court. She even drew an offensive foul in the final seconds, showing her impact went beyond the stat sheet. Lexi Hull continued her strong season with 10 crucial points off the bench. Hull also dished out 4 assists, matching a career high for all-around contribution. Her performance proved the depth everyone questioned was absolutely real. The bench became a weapon instead of a weakness.
Way to go, Natasha Howard.
The bench outscored Atlanta's bench by 16 points. This was a complete reversal from their previous matchup, where the Dream's depth had given them a major advantage. Players like Cunningham and Hull provided crucial scoring and defensive contributions. The Fever's improved depth and versatility became obvious to everyone watching. This wasn't just a team win, it was proof that the Fever had become a legitimate threat with multiple weapons at their disposal. When one player struggled, 3 others stepped up to fill the void. The supporting cast didn't just survive Clark's off night, they thrived during it.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull are the real deal. That's what it does look like. It looks like these two off the bench, you can name whoever you want. These two ladies off the bench are going to be the most impactful duo in the WNBA, hands down.
Clark's struggles actually revealed something more important than any individual performance. This team could win. Championship teams need multiple players who can take over games. They need depth that can handle adversity, and they need role players who become stars when the moment demands it. The Fever proved they had all of these qualities in one road game against a quality opponent. Brittney Griner came into this game expecting to do what she always does to smaller teams. Completely dominating the paint at 6 feet 9 inches, Griner should have been the most unstoppable force on the court. She had already proven her effectiveness against Indiana in their first meeting. Everyone knew Atlanta would feed her the ball early and often.
That's why we at least go out and get somebody like a Natasha Howard that when Caitlin Clark, Kelsey, and AB aren't hitting, when Caitlin Clark, Kelsey, and AB are getting hoed with fouls, there's somebody there that's competent offensively that can keep us in the game. And Natasha Howard, you did just that. 26 points, 7 rebounds.
The Fever had no traditional center who could match her size. Coach Stephanie White acknowledged the matchup challenges her team faced against the Dream, particularly due to Atlanta's size advantage with players like Guerrier and Brianna Jones. White emphasized the need for the Fever to use their versatility and depth to combat the Dream's size. This strategic adjustment became crucial for the rematch, but something strange started happening every time Guerrier touched the ball. Indiana players were swarming her from every angle. The Fever's defensive strategy was pure chaos theory. They sent help from positions that made no basketball sense. Players rotated constantly, and double teams came from unexpected spots.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull are the real deal. That's what it does look like. It looks like these two off the bench, you can name whoever you want. These two ladies off the bench are going to be the most impactful duo in the WNBA, hands down. Hands down, these two are going to be the most impactful duo in the WNBA off the bench. They bring the energy, they bring the heat, they're able to score, they play defense.
The Fever's defensive approach involved what Coach White called a collective effort. They showed a willingness to be physical on every possession. Every time Griner got the ball, it became a physical battle. Indiana players were willing to take fouls to disrupt her rhythm. They made her work harder for every point. This defensive intensity was a marked improvement from the first game. The team out-rebounded the Dream 41-37, a massive turnaround from their previous meeting. They held Atlanta to just 76 points in their home turf. The improved physicality became obvious to everyone watching. Her frustration grew with each missed shot and each whistle. The referees weren't giving her the calls she expected. Her shots became more difficult, her rhythm got disrupted, and the wear and tear started showing on every possession.
Stephanie White, folks, we were up 3 points in the last minute. Stephanie White puts Sophie and Lexi and they say, press. In the last minute, Stephanie White says, Sophie, Lexi, press. Don't make it easy on them. Don't let them get into their offense. We gotta hassle them. We gotta haggle them. We gotta get on them. We need to force them to make decisions before they want to. And Sophie and Lexi did just that. Those two, great job tonight.
With 338 left in the game, the inevitable happened. Brittney fouled out with just 5 points and 7 rebounds. This marked the second time this season she fouled out against the Fever. The effectiveness of Indiana's defensive strategy became crystal clear. The Fever had successfully neutralized the Dream's biggest weapon. Using pure determination and team defense, they forced her into tough situations throughout the game. They made every possession a battle. They wore her down systematically. Atlanta's game plan crumbled the moment their star player walked to the bench in foul trouble. With their dominant big out, the Dream's ability to score in the paint was diminished, and their offensive flow got disrupted completely. The Fever closed out the game with confidence. Their primary scoring threat was gone when they needed her most.
That's toughness on display. Fighting through it. It ain't always going to go your way. And then, like I said, some of the new players. I think Natasha Howard was excellent in this game. She was excellent in this game. And there were some, connections between her and Clark. Then there was Sophie Cunningham, who was also back for the first time, who's just an excellent all-around basketball player. And you could see it here. Clark with the get-ahead to Cunningham and the finish. I mean, Cece's just such a gifted passer.
With tensions already running high in this revenge game, Caitlin Clark and Ryan Howard found themselves in a heated face-to-face exchange that showed exactly what kind of competitor Clark really is. After a hard foul, both players started talking, and the cameras caught Clark saying something that perfectly captured her mindset in that moment.
Brittney Griner tried to post up Damaris and failed to post up Damaris. She tried to move Damaris off the block on defense. She failed to move Damaris off the block on defense. Damaris Dantas isn't only a big body, she's a strong SOB. And Brittney Griner found that out firsthand tonight.
The first overall pick back in 2022 is trying to intimidate the sophomore in a crucial road game. She had been tasked with guarding Clark all night, making every possession physical. The veteran was doing what veterans do, testing the young players' mental toughness. This kind of challenge happens all the time when established players want to see what young stars are made of.
Let's start with the one that's going to be shared everywhere.
But Clark looked her straight in the eyes and said, "I'm not scared of you," with the kind of confidence that separates stars from superstars. She put her shoulder into Howard's chest during the exchange, and then Clark gave Howard a sarcastic thumbs up that showed she wasn't backing down from anyone. The moment was captured on camera and immediately went viral across social media.
Look, Ryan Howard was up in her grill all game, and there's the bump, there's the physical challenge there, and some words. Some words for Clark. But if you could see, Clark has some words back, and those words, if you lip read appropriately, or it seems like from the lip readers out there, were, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not scared of you. I'm sorry."
This wasn't just trash talk. It was a declaration that the Fever's young core wouldn't be pushed around anymore. Clark's response sent a message to her teammates that they belonged on this stage. She showed them how to handle pressure from veteran players who were trying to intimidate them. The crowd at State Farm Arena got louder after the exchange. The game got more physical on both ends. Both teams started playing with playoff intensity. The emotional fire from that moment spread to every player on the court. The atmosphere became electric.
"I'm not scared of you." With that, and that's competing. That's good basketball. That's fine. Howard wanted the challenge. I loved it. I love them. You just can't let, people play Clark like they're bumping her at the line of scrimmage and not call a foul. You got to call those fouls. Get them in foul trouble.
Clark's willingness to stand up to Howard showed her teammates that she was ready to fight for every possession. She demonstrated the kind of leadership that championship teams need. Even veteran players like Natasha Howard responded to Clark's energy. The entire team elevated their play after watching their star refuse to be intimidated. Even on a night when her shots weren't falling, Clark was still finding ways to impact winning through leadership and toughness. She went 0 for 5 from three-point range and scored just 11 points, but her willingness to stand up to Howard proved that her impact went far beyond statistics. She was showing championship mentality.
Overall, it was the response from the Fever that impressed me the most to come away with this win. I said the last game was an impressive loss because things didn't go right and they were almost there and they came back. And this is sort of the, same side of that coin.
That exchange became the emotional turning point where the Fever proved they belonged on the biggest stages. The team fed off Clark's energy and confidence. They played with more aggression on defense, and they attacked the rim with more purpose on offense. Championship teams need players who won't back down from anyone, and Clark just showed she was built for those moments. She handled the pressure like a veteran despite being a sophomore. Her response to Howard's challenge proved she has the mental toughness to lead this team to titles. The moment revealed exactly why the Fever believed they could compete with anyone in the league.
It's huge, and again, our depth and our ability to play different lineups, our ability to lift one another up if we don't have it. I mean, I thought Damaris Dantas was huge for us when AB got in foul trouble, and it's easy to look at numbers, but what she brought in terms of her ability to move the ball, her defensive physicality was huge. Obviously what Lexi and Sophie bring for us, and even Sid. I mean, she hadn't played the whole game, and we throw her in there in some time and score situations. We have a team that we can go 11 deep.
This revenge win in Atlanta proved the Indiana Fever had transformed from a rebuilding team into a legitimate championship contender with depth, toughness, and multiple ways to win. They held the Dream to just 36% shooting from the field, and they outscored Atlanta in the paint. 46-20, 4 different players scored in double figures. The fact that they dominated on the road without their best player having her best night shows this team is ready for whatever 2025 brings. Clark went scoreless from three-point range, but the Fever still won by double digits. That's championship-level depth right there. Comment fired up for the Fever down below to show how proud you are of the win. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next.